Dr. Muhammad Hafiz Joffrey, and we have Dr. Nick Nurhalida binti Nick Hariri here. Right, so a little bit of a brief introduction on underwater archaeology with Professor Dr. Harizal, who is an associate professor of Marine Geoscience Program at the Faculty of Science, Marine Environment, University Malaysia, Terengganu, yeah? And of course, Environmental Science from Hokkaido University, Hokkaido, Japan in 2013, and of course, a professional qualification in scuba diving allows him to conduct scientific evacuations at underwater archaeological at the Bidong shipwreck. Now, to Datuk Kamarul Ridwan Muhammad, a respected business leader in Malaysia, and he currently serves as the Group MD of Uzma Berhad, a leading oil and gas service provider in Malaysia. He has over 25 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, having worked for several international companies, including Exxon, Smedvik Technologies, and Roxa before he founded Uzma in 2000 and took it to IPO in 2008. Now, to Dr. Muhammad Hafiz Joffrey, who is a geoscientist, who has research interest is in geophysical hazards both in terrestrial and marine environments. So a little bit of a brief introduction to all of y'all. And of course, not forgetting Dr. Nick Hulaider. Yeah, she is. The rose among the thorns, yeah? Ah. Okay, she's a lecturer of Maritime Management Program at the Faculty of Maritime Studies, University Malaysia, Terengganu, UMT. She was conferred a PhD in Maritime Studies in 2016, master's degree in Integrated Coastal Zone Management in 2013, and of course, bachelor's in Maritime Management in 2007 from University Malaysia, Terengganu, UTM, right? So, our panelists, are we ready?
Ready.
The stage is all yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, MC of the session. Actually, I love to hear. I miss your voice, sir. Okay. So, today we like to discuss and present about unveiling Bidong shipwreck. Actually, this is not one day, because it's one day work. We just work with the Bidong shipwreck since 2012 until today, and more work to do in the future. So, without any delay, I just want to briefly introduce about the Bidong. This like a shipwreck, we found it accidentally by our fishermen in the Bidong Island. And with that issue, we try to go for the first excavation. We call it scientific excavation in the national level. And today, we like to discuss with our panel, which involve several disciplines. And then without further ado, I would like to call our first panel, Dr. Nick Halida, or I can call it Dr. Nick Ellie. It's okay, right? So, Doctor, for the divers, you are divers, we are all divers. So, what is we should do if we found a shipwreck in our water? So, please.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and good afternoon. First of all, I would like to say welcome to all of you to MIDE 2023. Okay, this is very interesting topic to discuss. Okay, when we find something or wreck, what we should do, okay? Okay, firstly, based on Merchant Shipping Ordinance MSO 1952 under Part 10, Section 374 said, if we found something, wreck or artifact in our water, so we have to report, or we have to, report to the receiver or commissioner in our district. And then the second act is National Heritage Act 2005 said if we found shipwreck or an artifact, so we have to also report to the commissioner and receiver. But for National Heritage Act 2005, it's focused for the heritage only. It means the shipwreck have the value of heritage. And then, so we go back to 2012. Okay, a fisherman found the poultry of a ship artifact at the Pulau Bidong island. So, but our sorry. Okay, but the fisherman have an awareness because he report to the report to the chief officer at UMT, and then we are so glad that the fishermen, they have the awareness. The heritage object is very important. So the most important thing when we find the shipwreck or the artifact, so we have to report to the legal authorities such as Marine Department, National Heritage Department, and also UMT. So I really we also have this awareness in ourselves. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee. I think first is what we should consider is awareness, not only regulation. We have a regulation, but the important thing we should put in our community is awareness, right? So, okay, next I will go to our second panel, Dr. Hafiz. You know that if we found, that means accidentally found any artifacts, any shipwreck, okay? We don't want to waste our time. Go for diving, searching, and after that, so we go for excavation. So my question is, how, because you are geophysical expert and you are diverse, okay, how geophysics data can be used in marine archaeology, especially in case of Bidong shipwreck?
Okay, thank you very much for the question, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the organizer for the opportunity inviting me to share our knowledge together with you guys. Okay, so in terms of talking back to the question, basically how is geophysical data benefit the underwater archaeology? So one of the things is geophysical data is actually very important because it can actually provide, I would say, a first-hand full scale and also detailed picture of the shipwreck. Of course, we can always go to the site, we can go for diving, we can basically take some images, we can do some measurements, so on and so forth, but it is actually quite risky and also time consuming as well. So that is where the geophysical data come in, okay? Because geophysical data can actually support the ground truthing data. So why is it so important of having the geophysical data? First of all, geophysical data is actually important for us to prepare for the next phase of the excavation, the next phase project. In order for us to perform the excavation, first of all, we need to know, there are a lot of questions that we need to ask ourselves. First of all, we need to know the size of the ship, the geometry of the ship, the length, the width of the ship. How deep is the ship buried below the seafloor? All these important questions needs to be addressed before we can actually perform the excavations. And obviously, that is where the geophysical data can be used, can be utilized. Actually, just now there's a slide over here which actually shows one of the data, the side scan sonar data. So side scan sonar, it's sort of like an underwater drone. Okay, so you can get a picture of the area. The images of the area using the side scan sonar. Another tools that you can use is the echo sounder. We have two types of echo sounder, the single beam and also the multi-beam. But the main purpose of the echo sounder is basically for us to perform the mapping, the surveying. We wanted to know the elevation of the seafloor. We wanted to map the shipwreck itself. Another tools that basically we can use is the magnetometer, especially if we wanted to find a metal artifacts or metallic shipwreck, something like that, okay? So basically, because magnetometer basically detect the variation in terms of the Earth magnetic fields. So based on the magnetometer data, we can actually identify the type of artifact, the type of shipwrecks that is basically located in that particular area. Another tools that is actually quite important is basically the seismic equipment. We usually call it as the sub-bottom profiler.
Yeah.
Because the sub-bottom profiler can provide us the information on the subsurface. The magnetometer, the echo sounder, the side scan sonar can actually provide you information about the surface, but it doesn't tell you much about the subsurface. So that is where the sub-bottom profiler come in. Basically, it can give you like a cross-section of that particular area, so you can actually measure it, or you can actually determine how deep is the shipwreck buried below this ocean floor. So basically, by using the geophysical data, we can actually plan, we can actually answer those questions that I've highlighted just now, so that we can prepare ourselves for the next phase of the excavations.
So, good philosophy, I think, from Dr. Ellie, touch about awareness, and then more to applied sciences or applied geophysics. And I also interesting with Datuk Kamaro. You are, because your main business is about oil and gas industry. You leading UZMA group in the oil and gas industry, and then this is not your forte. But what made you jump to study about underwater archaeology?
I wanna find the coins. I wanna see money. No, I'm just kidding. So no, in reality, there's a lot of similarities from industries that I have. I mean, we do use a lot of geological data, technical data in terms of finding where the resources is.
So, but how we started into this is through the interest to preserve the national culture and heritage. I think that's a lot of corporate citizens need to step in to support all the work that's been done by academicians. We are coming in to offer some expertise, maybe some financial and legal support on how to build the right strategy to build and excavate the shipwreck. Yeah. So really, in reality, it's nothing to do with your
expertise. Is rather than you are providing some experience. Okay. But
we do have a lot of skill sets and analytical techniques that we can apply, just like what Prof. Hafiz already said. We can use SBM, we can use magnetometers, we can use some of the lab analysis, dendrography, okay? We can use XRD,
XRF to further determine the provenance of those artifacts that we found. So in reality, it's a pretty simple transition for us to go in from oil and gas to this. But
decided because of we feel that corporate citizens need to support some of those activities, and it's aligned with my hobbies as well. So so that's the main reason. Yeah.
So okay, Dato', it's very great move actually, because you are known in the oil and gas industry, and then you show your interest in this the underwater archaeology, which is good for nation, because we are at national level trying to preserve our heritage, especially underwater heritage. And I would like to get back to Dr. 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋. This is because when we're talking about underwater cultural heritage, we should bind with the Paris Convention 2001, right? And then for this one, I know there's a gray area between how we want to preserve, how treasure hunter also come in to looking for the treasure especially, but how we can help, because we are academician, and how we can help the government in terms of their struggle to conserve national artifacts. Based on your opinion, what we can help the government, okay?
Thank you, moderator, for the question. Okay, actually for 𝐶PUCH, they are adopted on 2001. Okay, cut off my knowledge, September 2021, Malaysia has not yet ratified the 𝐶PUCH, but we as an academician actually can do a research and study based on the 𝐶PUCH, but we are not ratified yet. But for me, however, if country has not ratified the specific convention, but every country has their own registration or their own policy. Okay, for Malaysia, we have a National Heritage Act 2005. Okay, it focused on underwater cultural heritage under the Section 9. Okay, so over there, we can protect our artifact and also the shipwreck. And then for marine salvage and underwater cultural heritage, try to teach all of my students about the awareness, about the regulation, and also I want all of my students know how to protect the underwater cultural heritage. Okay, so for me, our regulation, our act is very good and helpful, also effective, but maybe we have to do some improvement based on enforcement. Enforcement in our archaeological site, and I really hope that especially in regulation and act will be improved our regulation. Okay, National Heritage 2005. That's all for me. Back to Madras.
So that means first you said that's awareness before this, and then touch about regulation.
Yes.
So we have a clear regulation about underwater cultural heritage developed by government and then enforced by Jabatan Warisan Negara. Is it right?
Yeah.
So okay, it's kind of a clear. I mean for two parties. I mean for the academician, for government agency, and also community. Yes. And then you also give the chance to know about the limitation and how to improve it, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
So I will go for the Dr. Hafiz, because Dr. Hafiz is talking about previously about how we want to distinguish any anomaly, underwater anomaly, especially for the subsurface, right? Okay. In terms of bidong wreck, how or what is the obstacle, what is challenge that we face to when we want to try for the to know this is a shipwreck or this one is any anomalies, something like a paleo channel or something like that.
Okay, so thank you very much. So basically, if first of all, there are a lot of limitations, challenges, obstacles that are associated, especially on marine archaeology. The challenges is actually different with the land archaeology. Okay, but if I could summarize, basically there are two major challenges. The first one is obviously the costing, the budgeting, and the second one is getting a good data. Okay, so the first is costing. Obviously, when we wanted to plan for the exploration, first of all, you need to consider a lot of budget. For example, renting of the boat. Okay, renting of the boat. You need to have a boat in order for you to perform the exploration. Next, you need to if let's say you don't have the equipment. Okay, depending on the budget that you have. If let's say you have a lot of budget, then that's no problem. You can easily rent all 4 equipment straight away. The sounder, the side scan sonar, the magnetometer, the sub-bottom profiler. But in a lot of cases, we have limited budget. So you need to consider which of the equipment that you wanted the most. And that is where you need to really define the goal of your exploration. You need to define the aim. You need to define the objective of your expedition. If let's say what you wanted to find out is basically you wanted to get the data on the subsurface of the shipwreck, then you need to prioritize the sub-bottom profiler as compared to other geophysical tools. Okay, and obviously just one equipment, it costs you a lot as well. And also you need to hire a technical expertise, okay, in order for you to operate the equipment. Obviously, you need to have a driver for the boat as well. Another consideration that you need to consider is the accommodation. You need to consider one thing is basically the locations of the shipwreck. Is it near to the shore or is it far away from the shore? So if it's far away from the shore, then most probably it would not be a good idea for you to find an accommodation on land, because you will be wasting your time traveling back and forth. Okay, so if, like, say you are the location is situated very far away from the shore, then you might need to consider a much bigger vessel, a much bigger boat, so that the technical, the expertise, the workers can basically just sleep on board. Okay, but if it's, let's say it's actually quite near to the shore, then maybe you need to consider about the accommodation as well. You need to consider about the traveling time. Let's say, for example, if you are staying on land, traveling from the jetty to the site is taking you around 30 minutes. So you need to consider that you'll be wasting 1 hour for traveling. Okay, so you need to multiply with how many days you are planning to perform the explorations. Another thing that you need to consider is the food, the water, obviously the essential stuff. Apart from that, you also need to consider, after you get the data, all right, the equipment, the high performance workstations, the computer, the software. Obviously for trust me, seismic processing software is not that cheap. It's expensive. So you need to consider that into your budget as well. Okay, so that is the first challenges that involve this kind of research. Yeah. The second is getting good data. Okay, obviously after you have collect the data, all right, the next challenge is, are you getting a good data? What sort of information can you extract from the data? If, let's say, the data has a lot of disturbance, a lot of noise, okay, will you be able to extract the information? Okay, so if you cannot extract the information, then basically the exploration you have conducted is a waste, because you cannot gather a lot of data. So basically it's very important for you to plan the expedition first. You need to look at the weather, okay, because a choppy weather, a choppy sea would not get you a very good data, because there's a lot of disturbance as well. Okay. Another thing that you can do is basically you need to perform a quality control first. Okay, when you collect the data, usually, let's say, for example, the sub-bottom profiler, it will provide you with the monitor. So you can actually, the technical expertise need to do some quality control, need to check on the data, whether there's a lot of disturbance or not. Yeah. If there's a lot of noise, then basically they need to do something about it. The second thing is, obviously, we need to calibrate the equipment first. We need to test the equipment first before we go for the explorations. And another thing that we need to think of is basically the type of equipment that we are using. For example, the seismic equipment. The seismic equipment, there are a lot of variations. Okay. There are seismic equipment that is suitable for deep water exploration, but there's a equipment that is only suitable for shallow water. So you need to consider that. You need to look at the area in which the shipwreck is buried. If, let's say, it's in the shallow water, then you need to consider seismic equipment that is capable of performing in shallow water. So that are some of the consideration that you need to consider when you wanted to get a good data. So if, let's say, you are able to collect the data, you are getting good data, I would say that it's a successful project.
So it's like what we can say here is times plus technology equals to money, is it?
Exactly,
so
yeah.
the simple words.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly, yeah.
So, okay, now I would like to move to Datuk Kamarum. Datuk, because you are from industry, and because of your hobby, you jump to academic, because now you're pursuing your master degree in the UMT. So maybe you will have any future planning based on your, to your interest, your hobby, and then your academic line now. Do you have any future planning for with the underwater archaeology? So please.
Yeah, Prof. I think the first thing first, let's set up the baseline where we are now. I think this project has been a multiple year, multiple disciplinary. So what we established about the Bidong shipwreck at the moment is roughly about 600 years old. It carries various cargo, mainly cargoes from Thai, and we think that based on the ceramic that we tested, it probably come from Sawan Kalok and Sitchai Chinalai, and this is the final stage of Sawan Kalok. But when the recent excavation that we did, we probably see some evidence of Ming ceramics as well, which is Xingdejian. So I think at the moment, when we do a lot of studies, we are at the phase of data analytics, okay, just to determine the provenance of this the ceramics and also the ship. We know that the shipwreck is big. It cannot be a Chinese vessel. It has to be a vessel from Southeast Asia. So we are gathering more data to further reduce the uncertainties of this provenance of these artifacts and the ship itself. So at the moment we determine that's where we are. Okay, so we are introducing more analytical studies. So if you ask me what's next, maybe we're looking at introducing elemental analysis or material analysis to determine the materials and element of the ceramic and compare to where we believe it comes from, so that we can further reduce the uncertainties. So there's still a lot more. I assume we probably can produce, I don't know, more than 10 papers on this Bidong shipwreck alone, not just to cover about the methodologies of excavation, but also from the scientific method. That's where my interest is. So to answer your question, yeah, once we completed, we probably do further studies on this one to further determine probably reducing the range of the age of shipwreck, and then hopefully we can even know where is the destinations of this ship before it actually sunk, okay? And probably try to determine why it sunk at the first place as well, all right?
Okay, great, Dato'. Great explanation from your view, because you jump from the industry to academic. And then what I can conclude here from our discussion is we should have a proper regulation, and then we should create awareness among community or citizen. And then from that, we should, to set up any community or expert, together expert to establish ethnology, to fine tune, to find, the better technology to discover for the underwater artifacts. And then after that, we come for academic to help in terms of research, in terms of academia. And then after that, we can conserve our underwater culture heritage. Okay, so the last word from panel. First, Dato', maybe?
This is a very interesting, project. And I believe this is the first time ever we are using 100% local expertise, 100% local funding, 100% local academician to actually unveil the shipwreck. As you can see it before, it was like 13 shipwreck has been found, excavated and salvaged. This is the first time it's been done by 100% local manpower and resources. So it is interesting. So I hope we can get more people involved in this one so that we can preserve either in situ or bring it back to the shore so that everybody can enjoy it. Okay,
okay, thank you, Dato'. Okay, Dr. Hafiz, any last word?
Okay, I'm excited because basically I'm a geoscientist. My research interest is looking at the geophysical hazard. Never in my entire lifetime I would actually involve in this kind of research, which I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward, especially when I can actually use my expert to contribute into this study. Obviously, if you look at geophysical data, usually for my field, basically we are more focusing on the deep water exploration, basically on the oil and gas sector, where they are looking for the oil. It's very rare for us to use geophysical technique in the shallow water region, except for if, let's say, you wanted to build an offshore construction, nearshore construction, or basically for sand mining, but not really on the archaeology. So I'm really looking forward on the future of this study, especially in terms of the geophysical data. And I'm really excited to contribute as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hafiz. And last but not least, Dr. Ellie, from your opinion and then to your future future hope for this one.
Okay, thank you. Simple and sweet. Okay, okay. Actually, we have awareness. For me, awareness is a very important thing. And then I really hope that many researchers can join this archaeology. Okay, because this is very interesting field. And then I really hope that researcher community and also agency can collaborate together to protect our underwater cultural heritage. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have about 3 minutes. Any question from the floor? Oh, okay. Okay, please, Mr.
Okay, the questions like this, Prof, and to the panelists. Now, let's talk about Bidong shipwreck. My question is, what was the best shipwreck find, the depth, and duration to preserve?
Okay, I think I will pass to Dato'.
I mean, I guess there is no such thing as the best shipwreck, but I think we are blessed to have this Bidong shipwreck in the protected zone. Is about 18 to 20 meters. So people can go dive without any technical equipment, albeit the salvage team use a reader when we use it. So for me, the best site is the site that people can access and then appreciate it. So Bidong shipwreck is one of the best because it's well preserved. It has a lot of cultural heritage from multiple countries, from China and from from Thailand. The ship itself is actually from Southeast Asia. At the moment, we cannot determine where it is, but based on the DNA, it could be Malaysia ship. Okay, so I think the way that we're looking at it is the best shipwreck is always the shipwreck that people can easily access and enjoy it together. Okay.
Okay, I just will add some more. But yes, because Bidong shipwreck is very interesting. It's located about 18 meter depth. Because for this depth, accessibility is for open water diver. They can go dive without any technical issue. It's okay. For open water diver, they can go and access. So that's why in our projection, for future projection, we try to develop a kind of a new segment for underwater archaeotourism. So there is what our future hope actually. It's okay. One more question maybe? No? No question? So okay, thank you. I think that's all from our team today. Thank you very much again for the organizer, committee members that give us opportunity to be on the stage to share our knowledge and also our experience with the Bidong shipwreck. So thank you very much.